The M27 Infantry Automatic Rifle is the most requested gun that we get on here. It's the Marine Corps' fancy new replacement for the M249 SAW. Or maybe it's supposed to replace the M16. I don't know, they keep switching the answer on me, and that's part of the reason why it's such a controversial rifle. There's a big debate going on about if the M27 is going to be a huge failure or not, with the worst case scenario being Marines don't have the firepower that they need. And the funny thing is, nobody's really even questioning if it's a good rifle or not. It has basically universal acclaim. Look, the M27 has 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's critic and audience score. The real reason the weapon is controversial is because some Marines question if the 30-round capacity rifle can fill the role of the 200-round capacity M249. I'll bring you the reports from the actual Marines who used it in the field so we can figure out if they're making a huge mistake here or not, or maybe they know something we don't. We'll go over the M27's different capabilities and why they made this switch. Stick around to the end of the video if you want to know about the infantry doctrine changes that this will mean for the Marine Corps. Afterwards in the comment section we can debate if you guys think that the M27 is a good move or not. This video is sponsored by Gunmagwarehouse.com. Gunmagwarehouse.com is the online destination for new and veteran shooters alike. Check out their inventory right away. I know they're always my go-to. The M27 is almost exactly the same as the HK416 rifle. It just has a slightly longer barrel. The HK416 was originally developed for Delta Force, which is pretty much the top tier elite unit that we're allowed to know about. The HK416 is famous for being the rifle that they used to kill Osama bin Laden. It was originally developed with help from a former Delta Force operator and current YouTube star Larry Vickers. The M27 is a short stroke gas piston system. It has a barrel length of 16.5 inches and it weighs 9.8 pounds when fully loaded. It fires the same 5.56 rounds that the M16 shoots. It has a free-floating barrel, meaning it only makes contact with the rest of the rifle at the receiver. This gives it improved accuracy and prevents the barrel from overheating quickly. It has a rate of fire of 700 rounds per minute, and its max effective range is 600 meters for a point target and 800 meters for an area target. The rifle is fully automatic. Finally, we can say bye to the 3-round burst. Why do we even have a 3-round burst on the M4? It feels like a child safety lock on a car window. Do you seriously not trust us enough to have full auto? We can fire it in bursts. On second thought, I wouldn't trust any grunts in a room for 10 minutes without it being fully child-proof. Every one of these are outfitted with a bipod and an ACOG 4x scope. As part of the tactical changes within the Marine Corps, they're experimenting with deploying a unit where every single M27 was fitted with a suppressor. They reported that they were able to communicate easier with a trade-off of the weapons overheating faster. The main difference between the M16 and the M27 is the following. The M27 has a longer barrel and it's heavier. So this gives it an accuracy and range advantage, and it can hold a higher rate of sustained fire for a longer period of time without overheating. And this is thanks to that piston system. We all know the M16 is a gas-operated weapon, but the M27 has a piston-operated bolt, so it's not running on recycled carbon. Cross our fingers now and hope that means less Q-tipping the inside of that star chamber. That sounds like an innuendo, but I promise it's not. As an example, the AK-47 also works on a piston-operated system. With your traditional gas-operated system, the gas travels down the barrel, behind the bullet, and it goes through a small hole in the barrel. Then it's diverted back through the upper receiver, where it pushes against the top of the bolt carrier, which cycles the action. This system is prone to overheating because of all the hot gas in the receiver, and if you ever fired an M16 before, you know how it's also prone to misfires because of all the carbon that gets baked onto the bolt carrier. In the piston-operated system, on the other hand, the gas drives an operating rod, which cycles the action while the gas is vented and never enters the action of the rifle. The piston system that the M27 is based off of is a G36, and I actually got the chance to fire a G36 when I was in Latvia helping to train the soldiers to deploy to Afghanistan. It was a very intuitive weapon with a great balanced feel to it, and everyone in my platoon was jealous of the G36. We all wanted the weapon instead of our old dusty M4s. When the military was running all their stress tests on the M27, they found the old aluminum magazines suck at feeding rounds into the chamber. They were having a ton of misfires with them, which they fixed by issuing PMags. Gunmagwarehouse.com partnered with us on this video. They're well known for their huge inventory and fast shipping. Check out all the incredible Gunmag Warehouse products today. Another good tip is when you're loading those last 5 rounds in the magazine, load regular ammo, then tracer, and alternate between those two so you know when you're almost out of ammo. The role of the rifle reminds me of how the US military operated back in World War II with the Browning automatic rifle. It's really a return to an old doctrine. The BAR and the IAR are both automatic, accurate, and meant to suppress the enemy, but at the same time, they're not belt-fed, and they're not overly cumbersome.
The Browning automatic rifle, caliber 30, model 1918 A2, is an air-cooled, gas-operated weapon.
The M27 IAR was built to slay the enemies of America. Look at Cappy here. He's a swell Marine, taking care of his M27 by sleeping with it every night. He sure as heck isn't sleeping with anyone else, that's for dang sure. By golly, here's something you might not know about the M27. Congress threw a fit over the insane $3,000 price tag, which was 4 times the amount of the M4. You can bet your bottom dollar H&K lowered the price to $1,500 after that. If you're confused which weapon they want to replace with the rifle, you're not alone there, son. Just be happy you got something new. As you were. Whether you like the M27 or not, please remember to like the video. In early 2017, the Commandant of the Marine Corps himself, General Robert Neller, said he wanted to equip every single rifleman with an M27 IAR, so it might not just be a replacement for the SAW, it might also be a replacement for the M16. I have to admit, at first, I had my doubts about whether the M27 could actually fill the role of the SAW, which is a belt-fed 200-round weapon. The M27, on the other hand, is a magazine-fed weapon, and it only has the capacity of 30 rounds at a time. Sure, you could outfit it with a 100-round drum, but no military in the world does that because drums are unreliable. But this isn't a debate about if the M27 can do what the SAW already does. The real question here is, can the Marine Infantry doctrine and training quickly change from being focused on a high volume of fire to achieve fire superiority to the new tactics, which would have to be based around the new automatic rifle, its advantages and its disadvantages. From what I know about the Marines, they're smart as heck, and they'll be able to quickly change their training and adapt to the challenges like that. No, get that out of your mouth. I was just talking about how great you are. Don't make me look stupid. From the combat reports that came back from Afghanistan, the Marines felt an M27 gunner with an aimed shot had the same effect of 4 automatic shots from the SAW. And they felt that they were able to successfully implement a new doctrine in the field that works for this new weapon. Being able to achieve fire superiority and suppress the enemy is as much about a unit's training as it is about the type of weapon that they're using. And yet, a lot of people still laugh at the idea that the rifle expects to fill the same role as the squad automatic weapon. This is because traditionally, for the last 60 years, our tactics of suppressing fire have revolved around 2 automatic belt-fed weapons firing in tandem. That tactic is called talking the guns. And depending on the firefight, machine guns usually never run out of to say. Here's how it works by the book. One gunner fires a burst, and then another gunner located further down the line fires a burst in response. This is done within overlapping fields of fire. By doing this, teamwork style, they conserve ammo and fire more accurately. Talking the guns draws out the length of time that your machine guns can fire. And if you use this tactic, you can keep up a sustained rate of fire for over 2 minutes before having to reload the SAWs. The M27, on the other hand, wouldn't really have the ability to do this because it can't keep up that same volume of fire for the same amount of time. So people worry if the Marines could still achieve that fire superiority. So the Marines in the field say they love the weapon and appreciate that it's lighter weight. The M27 is 10 pounds lighter than the M249 SAW, and the top brass is also taking cost into consideration here. If they were able to consolidate some weapons into one, it means the Marines are able to get the job done for less money. So they're basically like construction crews that come in and underbid everyone. The other major advantage for M27 gunners is that they're not singled out by enemy snipers. When a platoon is on patrol and they get ambushed by snipers, you can bet the enemy is identifying the main threats first. Enemy snipers usually want to take out the machine gunners, the RTO, or the FO because they're going to be the biggest threat to them. The M249 looks way different than any other weapon. It's impossible to miss. It's easy to identify them. They stick out like a sore thumb because their weapon and the boxed ammo that they're carrying. However, the M27 looks pretty much the same as an M4, so snipers wouldn't be aiming for them. The M27 is a weapon that can fill different roles in a squad. It could also be a squad designated marksman position. You slap a Leopold TS-38 variable power scope, which is a $1,200 scope that gives greater magnification than the ACOG. Personally, I like the idea of having the M27 replace all the M16s as a more reliable, more accurate main battle rifle, while still keeping a few M249s around in each platoon, just in case it really hits the fan. Remember to check out Gunmagwarehouse.com to see their high-quality inventory today. Thank you for watching the video. I'm Chris Cappy. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts.